revolt against who and why. Well, I start that way each video because the U.S. is in a quagmire, because the used to be the shadow government. They're now so powerful after all these decades. They operate in the open, saying this is, yeah, we have control, and we practice genocide, assassins, murder of witnesses to the Kennedys. Remember, although Johnson's girlfriend is still alive, and she's been on TV exposing that Johnson told her tomorrow Kennedy's out and they take over. And I don't write the exposés. I just research, I see them, I summarize them, I analyze them, and then I present them as those that are the true fact. And that's a true fact. Johnson told her the night before that that Kennedy would be outgone. He takes over. Now, I had to mention about the fact I could have got Nixon off the hook in the previous video, and why Nixon said this is what a Hoover and Hoovers are. He said those that wanted to get him out. He says, I'm the president, I'm in charge, but these are getting me out. And I could have kept them from getting unnecessarily thrown out, absolutely. So I mentioned that in Expose Editor to just get it done, because I go to the store, because of my diet, they only have bread, bread's the staff of life, and toasted, it absolutely agrees with me, is the only bread that does. So I have to go there, and it's an unbelievable Barnum and Bailey. What is the song called? Barnum and Bailey, just as phony as it can be. Really, it's hilarious. You say that can't be. Well, that's what over his system. So now I'm at what I prefer to be an M. Just a little old preacher that's determined to get some of the vast wealth that was forcibly taken from him by the Hoovers, so I could buy a corner property somewhere on the Southwest and have my residence. And in some states, your residence, you can't have it as a church. So that's minimum that I would agree to. And they could easily do that, but no, they're going to show me they're going to keep practicing the genocide, and that's the way they operate. And what can I do about it? Well, I raised my voice, and I said, now from now on, it's from the bloody pulpit. That's an expression mean when a preacher, especially, who comes out in the Southwest, and he's not from a seminary, or, he's not an official title from some four-year college and so forth. He begins preaching, and he gives them the fire and brimstone, as they say. But I don't believe in when he looks at his parishioners and he says, you're sinners, you're all sinners. Wait a minute. They're good people. They come with the best attire, the best thoughts, prayer, and you call them sinners? No. Only God can say somebody has sinned, and if they think they've sinned, or if they want to be sure, they confess any sin or what they think they might have sinned to God. And then they go to communion after they sin. They take and say some prayers of contrition, and that's keeping holy the Sabbath day, because Sunday is the first day of the week, not the last day of the week. The Sabbath is Saturday, and you keep holy the Sabbath day. Prepare yourself. And those who believe in Christ say that's Sunday, Dominico, God's day. You begin the week honoring, and what's most important is salvation. You understand? I am forced in the U.S. because of the revolting quagmire that the Hoovers, what Bush now is a senior, I think, power. Bush, yeah, senior. And Bush Sr. was seen by witnesses the day before for sure, where John Kennedy Jr., well, they say at the bookstore in Dallas that morning, and they show films. It looks like him. And at least two, but quite more than that, the day before, where John Jr. kept his plane. I read at least 2 reports of eyewitnesses who will swear that they saw Bush Sr. with a killer Mossad agent that they hired to kill whoever they want alongside his plane that morning. I don't write this. It's on the internet. I saw it twice. They have conspiracy theories by the thousands, exposés by the hundreds that I don't write. I just research, review, summarize, and then analyze and print what are the true facts. And that is from the bloody pulpit now. We have to revolt against that revolting situation and quagmire that the King George, because he said they were related to royalty and should then govern here. King George, Queen Hoover, that immoral pedophiliac, that they still have a museum for him for young boys to go and idolize. What kind of administrative reality, and in order to be respected is that, nationally and internationally? So I say then from the bloody pulpit, Abraham Lincoln, while president, those that were trying to just take over him and the government. And he said, if these shadow government, or by gun and force, if they take over the government, now the president is in charge of the government, but he said, if they take over the government, then you, the people, have a right to take up arms and get your government back. That's exactly what he said. You could take up arms and get your government back. You understand? Well, now the politicians have passed laws that you can't take up arms against the government. And only thing you can do now, they got it where you can get a permit. You get a permit certain day, certain area, certain place, certain way in which you protest. Or free speech. Okay, but they don't care what you say. They got the power, they got the money. They do it openly, they laugh at you. And against I and others, there's some men that have been in the FBI that exposed them. And I think at least one of them that exposed him was a MD, and an MD couldn't take care of himself. He died kind of suddenly. And then there's Colleen Rowley, COLEENROWLEY, who is now, I still think, an FBI agent who exposed some of what they did, and she has over an hour video in which she shows where They tried to kill her. Well, she died while incarcerated. And what they did to her, absolute true facts. You see Colleen Raleigh blog, I think it's called, or Webman, the videos she has produced. And then there's Millie, I think it's McGee, MCGHEE or MCGEE, school teacher that's a pass for white, who absolutely proves in her video that Hoover is a pass for white from the same plantation that she grew up in which her father's brother, who was mainly Negro, said that Hoover was a pass for white and he was shipped up to Washington, and she said that it burned his uncle to death, and they gave her horrible early childhood and so forth. I didn't write this Millie McGee wrote it, and it's the absolute true facts. She proves it, you see. So, from the bloody pulpit, we have to revolt. And if we can get all of those who don't vote, you say, well, how can you do it? The ballot box. All the people in the U.S. who don't vote would vote for a man like me or a man like me, or as best they could get to represent them, to win any election. You understand? All right, with that in mind, I say all those who understand, and I must obtain honors and financial of the money they forcibly stolen from me. And then I can build my church, etc. So if you can help, and of course I say highly, thank you.